Well, good morning, YouTube and my subscribers, all 55 of you. Anyway, this is William from Williams, Philippines, and today is April 10th, 2024. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this three-ring circus going on a daily basis and seem to be having a bit of fun with it. Actually, today yesterday after I got off work, it was raining, so I didn't get to go and do the lawn like I was planning on, which is okay. We always need moisture. This is High Plains Desert, and we will take whatever rain we can get because, well, we need it. Anyway, ended up getting home, tending to a couple things there. Broke out a family photo album and got the various bits of information I needed out of it, and didn't exactly remember the day I got married. I remembered the month, and pulled that out because they wanted to know when I got married and when I got divorced. I got the divorce part. I've got that apostolized, and it's sitting there, in my little folio folder, whatever you want to call it, for going to the Philippines with me. I got no desire to, deal with the problems of my ex-wife. I'm glad that's over. She was a nightmare that I wish I had never stepped into. Look back on the insanity of it, and I realized how much of a mess I was in, and how much of a mess I was, and I have no desire to go back to that craziness. That being said, I got that information and ended up running through and seeing a whole bunch of photos from way back when. Oh man. Dug up some memories that had long been gone. This was back during my Navy days, and I enjoyed this. I had fun with when I was in the Navy. I wasn't exactly the greatest person back when I was in the Navy, and part of that had to do with the fact that my ex-wife and me weren't doing real good anyway. But only married 3 years, almost to the day. So got that took care of. Anyway, I got that information out. I got it put on my passport, and I actually went over and got the passport done, and all $213 of it, $212 and something, so $213, and yay, that's off, and should be somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. Yay! Card may be sooner. The birth certificate they had to take will come in a separate package, and then my, the little card, and then the passport itself, and they're all three different. I don't know why they're all going to the same place, and they can't get all out at the same time. But I don't know. Okay, but anyway, I've got that sent off, and in about 2 months, I should have a passport. So mid-June, I should have my passport back. So yay! Maybe a little earlier, maybe the end of May. I just want to get it going. I probably shouldn't have did it right now. I probably should have held off. But I wanted to go ahead and get it done and get it out of the way. This is, yeah, I just got to get it going. I got a severe case of one of goes. Oh, I got a severe case of one of goes. Them damn fish are calling me. I can hear them over there swimming around southern Davao or Mindanao. Yeah, south of Davao and south there of General Santos. Yeah, them big tuners are calling me. And I can hear them out there swimming around saying that I can't catch them. So I got to come prove them wrong. Yeah. Anyway, I am definitely ready for that. And ended up doing a bit of talking with folks, a couple of people, asking, me different this and different that's, and me realizing that, there's a lot of things that I just don't need to be in. I don't need these headaches. And I'm learning better about, don't let other people rent space in your head. It's you get to choose what you concern yourself with, what you think about, and how you respond to it, react to it, and what actions you take. You can't let something happen that irritates you blow up into something that gets you so upset that you're stressed out. That's just getting somebody else some rent in your head. I don't need that. You don't need it. Nobody needs it. But a lot of folks just jump up and gotta stay there 24/7. The older I get, the more I understand, the less I want to take and have that happening. So I've got real good at, I might get irritated and I might get a little stressed out, but I get over it real quick and I realize I don't need that tenant in my head, and I evict them because, they ain't worth the stress. Stress kills, man. Seriously, stress kills. So why would you want to have somebody stressing you out when you don't have to? I mean, seriously, stress kills. Why would anyone want to, allow something to inflict itself upon them, upon their person, their mind, that creates more of a headache, a load in their head, angers them, gets their blood pressure up, and stresses them out? I'm trying to avoid that nowadays. Like I say, stress kills. And I already know that, on my dad's side, the men, we die off between 65 and 67. Yeah, I don't want to die at 65 to 67. I want to make it to 68, 70. I had somebody this morning wish me to, make it up to not being the young man on my mom's side. And I said, well, that would be 85. She says, go for it. I want that. I'm going for that. So, yeah, I'm not really too much worried about dying off between 65 and 67. Pretty sure I'm actually going to make it to at least 70. Don't get me wrong. I did a lot of damage to myself on Stupid Street. And, yeah, my body is throwed off, tore up, and, I got more pings, pops, and pangs in my body than I want to admit to. I was a frame carpenter. I built houses. And I don't know about you, but you go carry that much wood. Do 18 years of, building houses and see how much material you move. The Philippines, y'all use cinder blocks, or hollow block. That's what you call them over there. Well, you move those things all day, every day, for 20 years. And I guarantee you, those guys that do that, they know what I'm talking about. That's a job, hard labor, and it wears your body out because, well, you're carrying the load on a constant basis. You're exercising and pulling muscles in directions that, yeah, it ain't good, and it wears you out. Pretty much, you get out there and you do the hard labor, and your body is always gonna, anybody that's done 20 years or so of that is gonna have, wear and tear. My kneecap, I've got a pin, screw, and 2 pieces of wire holding it together from a motorcycle wreck. And that's what kept me from staying as a frame carpenter. Probably would have been up on a roof long time, I had 18 years of frame carpentry. And a bit of this, a bit of that, but basically, say 20 years of construction. And when I messed up my kneecap, climbing around up on roofs, you don't want your knee going sideways. You can't have that happen, so I had to give up the frame carpenter. And I could have been a cut man on the ground, but I never liked being on the ground. I liked being the one sitting way up in the air and taking and pulling out tape measures, getting the measurement, and getting the wood brought up to me so that we could get it nailed together and building. I like putting things together and knowing how to. A lot of folks don't know how to do this stuff anymore. We're getting a lot of folks coming in that are doing it. But, the old folks who know how to do things like doing crown mold up in the corner of your ceiling and doing 3, 5, 7, however many steps you want to go. Doing all that and doing it by hand. I can barely do it with a compound miter saw. I had a boss that I learned how to do it from, and he used to do it with a coping saw, a little C with a blade under it, but through it. And he'd do it by hand and do it better than I can with a 45 compound miter saw. That man knew what he was doing and was able to do it by hand better than I can do it with a saw. I feel for construction when folks that know how to do stuff like that are all gone. I know I'm not capable of doing what he did, and I see some of the work that folks are putting out nowadays, and they're not capable of what I used to do. But then again, hey, we're getting replaced by computers, AI. Watching them taking, I was watching a video and they were running a computerized cement pump that was literally printing a house, one little layer at a time, and all they had to do was keep the concrete going to it, and the machine did everything else. They stop it long enough for somebody to stick a window where it belonged and get that up and pasted in. Yeah, they stick it in there, and when it's time, they start the machine back up and it finishes it over the top of it and goes. How much longer before it can even install the windows by itself? I mean, it's already building the walls. It's doing that part. So how much longer before it can do all of it without a man helping out? But they'll still be needing people to take in, do some things. Nothing else. make sure that when it breaks down, they can go in and swap out the PC board or something. Printed circuit board, yeah. I don't know. There's all these things going on in our lives. Well, I bumped it. Okay. We have no clue as to what's actually, going on there. Yeah. The capacity of things getting built nowadays is getting taken over by computers. I really feel for those folks that are, they just went and shot themselves in the foot out there in California. Burger flippers are now making $20 an hour in California. That's ridiculous. And guess what? They're going to have computers flipping burgers and serving them. And guess what? McDonald's is just going to be an artificial intelligence flipping burgers and serving them to you. Walk in, tell it what you want. It's probably in the next 20 to 30 years. You'll literally walk into McDonald's and Ronald McDonald's face will appear on the computer screen and ask you, what do you want to have for dinner or lunch or breakfast? And the machine will take over, cook it right there for you, and pop it out on a little tray. How many people are you going to need to do that when the machine literally assembles it? Cooks it, assembles it, and hands it to you. How many people do you need to flip a burger now? I feel for all these people out there in the world that are going to have their jobs replaced by computers and, robots. Like I say, construction has turned into robots. It's not there yet completely, but hey, how much longer? That iRobot thing where they had the robots working as housemaids. I mean, I don't think we're very close to that yet, but really, how far out? It really makes you wonder because, well, it's doing things. It's doing these things that are surprising now. They already got the little robots over there in Japan that, bring the food to you. How much longer before the machine puts it on the robot to bring it to you? And it wasn't even touched by a hand. And because a lot of things are being, automated. The more it gets automated, the more people are going to be out of work, and we're not going to have jobs for them. Makes you wonder. And it's they want to scream that they're worth $20 an hour to flip a burger. Well, you just put yourself out of a job, and what are you going to do next? Barista, coffee maker, coffee server. Yeah, not much further behind. Of course, I'm okay with that. I don't like Starbucks anyway. I'd rather just make my own coffee. Yeah. Why pay $5 for Starbucks? Yeah. When you can make it for 25, 30 cents. Even with good coffee, 50 cents. Yeah. I don't think I would want to support Starbucks. It's just me. I can barely see the reason and logic behind having somebody else make something for me that I can make for myself a whole lot cheaper. Don't get me wrong, I understand there's a lot of coffee shops in the Philippines. And, well, I might try a few, but it probably won't be for coffee. I don't know. We'll see. I just don't know. But yeah, I just don't see coffee machine, people making coffee for me. I like making coffee myself. I enjoy making coffee myself. And when I make it, I can't complain that somebody else messed it up, because guess what? It was me. So, yeah, I'm happy with how I make my coffee. I know how I want my coffee made. Yeah. I've got a bit of practice making my own coffee. And, well, I've been trying to cut back on mine and do away with it. Not do away with it completely, but I got to where I was doing pretty much a whole pot of coffee, big pot of coffee, which is like 2 of the ones you'd have at home. I think this thing holds like 30 cups, 10-ounce cups, or something like 10 or 12-ounce cups of coffee. And I'm going through a pot of that a night, or at least I was. Now I'm down to, well, tonight I only did 2. Some nights I go as much as 4, sometimes 5. But lately I've been trying to keep it between 3 and 4. And been shooting for doing 2 and 3. Yeah. Not trying to have too much coffee. They say it has some advantages, and sometimes I wonder, does it? It just is what it is. But yeah, coffee, burger flippers. These are jobs that can be done by a machine. My job, night clerk at a hotel. I do the audit. Well, basically I push a button now, because they've got it to where the computer pretty much runs the audit all by itself. I'm just here to take and double check and make sure that, oh yeah, the numbers come out right, and to go looking to find them if they don't. Yeah. It's like today, we're actually pretty busy. I've got 1 room left to sell. We had a bunch of people travel this week for the eclipse, and some came through last night, but not many. But tonight, a whole bunch of folks are on the way home after watching the eclipse. So yay! I'm glad they got to see the eclipse. Some did, some didn't. I didn't. I had to stay here and make that, funny little green pieces of debt. Oh, I mean money. Yeah, folks don't understand that part of it. Money is debt. Yeah. I've got a fistful of dollars. No, you got a fistful of debt. Yeah. Anyway, my job can be taken over by a computer. Like I say, and breakfast is about the only thing that here that we don't have that could be taken over yet. So, and even it's getting closer and closer. Ask the burger flippers. See, they build the machine, and then they build the building around it to house it, and this hotel will probably not have automated breakfast, so somebody will come in and make breakfast. That, or they'll do away with breakfast. And yeah, coffee, and I don't know, a vending machine you go by and wave your RFID room key at, and the machine reads it and says, oh yes, here's your piece. Poof, there's breakfast. Somebody comes by and loads that up. There, you wave it at the coffee machine, and it pours you a cup of coffee. How far out? I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm retiring this year or next year. Because literally all these things are happening, and it's going to cause a lot of turmoil. And yeah, the more automated we get, the more, well, the more worrisome it gets, because, well, the more we depend on a machine to do for us, the more chances of a machine dying and really causing us some major problems. I don't know, because more and more our people worldwide are being fed by fewer and fewer people because of big agro farms. And what happens, coronal mass ejection, one of them big old solar flare things. They happen all the time. And, well, back in 1887 or 78, I don't remember, something like that. They had one that popped off. It's called the Carrington event. And it popped off, and literally it hit the wires that were running the telegram wires. Kind of like our big telephone posts out here with all those big long electrical wires running for miles and miles. And if we had one of those hit today, instead of just catching the telegraph office on fire, and that did happen a lot, literally caught the melted wires, burned things up inside offices and set them on fire. People were wondering, like, what in the world? But, Carrington event, solar flares from the sun that actually got aimed at us, and we got it. If we actually got hit with something like that today, I don't know how much of our electrical system would survive. I mean, anything plugged in is just basically like the receiver of the telegraph machine. It's just a component at the end of a wire. And if we get hit with something like that, ouch. Yeah, makes you wonder. And if people don't know how to do things anymore, like I say, how many people are feeding this planet? It's a bunch of farmers working big agriculture, and yeah, the more people who don't farm, the less people we have out there that know what they're doing, the fewer people that are going to survive because of it, if something like that happened. It's just a thought. I mean, hey, they don't happen that often. We don't get shot at by the sun with a coronal mass ejection that often. Solar flares do happen, though. And when we get unlucky and one of those things decides to take a, direct aim at us and hit us real good, are we capable of handling that now? I don't know. If we aren't, we're in trouble. And they can fix a whole bunch of stuff on these wires and such. But that costs a bunch of money to fix. And, well, we've got a hard enough time keeping them, maintaining the system as it is. Go telephone posts snapping and wires coming down and starting the last fire we had. Oh, yeah. Only 1.2 million acres? Yeah, nothing major. Just a little spark and, some fire. Imagine if that happened and the wires came down all over the place because they melted like they did back in the Carrington days when that happened. and all the fires all of a sudden happening in one day because wires melted. I don't know. Think about it. That could be kind of scary. Anyway, weird ramblings and thoughts today. It's a better investment than getting angry and letting somebody rent space in your head. But, thinking about through this is kind of the same thing. Renting the future a space in your head. But, the past is the past. It's there to learn from, to make today the present a better present. Today the present is here. We plan for the future, but don't let it run us over because, well, you can't waste too much time on tomorrow and you can't waste too much time on yesterday. Otherwise, you're wasting, the gift, the present. So, get into the present. Today I had things, kind of went a little sideways because of the rain. I didn't get to get out and get things took care of, and, well, it's still raining. So I'm probably not going to get out there and get things took care of today. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Hopefully today it'll decide to start drying up and be dry enough for tomorrow to get mowed. If not, maybe Friday morning. We'll see. Anyway, this is, coming up Wednesday morning, and, well, I'm going to have to splice this together with the other one because I bumped the button wrong. Or bumped the camera wrong. I'm not sure which. I was trying to reach up and do something, and I goofed. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to try to get something done, and I got a bunch of, nothing else. I saw a bunch of photos I need to take and run through. There's a bunch of them I'm going to pack up and send to my aunt. There's a bunch of them I looked at them and deemed them of no further value to me because the people in them I don't want to know anymore, or don't know anymore, and couldn't remember who they were. Part of me says I should hold some of those, but then there's some of them that I downright just don't want, period. I don't want pictures of my ex-wife, for sure. That problem is over and done with, so out the door they go. Yeah, trash can bound. I don't care about her. Yeah, more space that I don't need wasted. So, I think I might try to do that today since it's going to be inside, and go through and sort through some pictures and get those rid of, get rid of those that I don't need, and farm out a few to the folks that are in some of those pictures so that they can have them, and decide what is worthy of toting over there with me, or what do I want to put in a suitcase and save here in case I get back over here. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of thinking like that lately. Do I want to save it? The minimalist, which I want to get into, is like, keep 5 or 10 pictures, the most important, maybe 20 at most, and chunk the rest. I don't need all those. Part of me is looking at those, and part of me says I should go ahead and get them all digitalized and put on a disc and do that with them. And that is a possibility, because then I'd just have a little disc that I can carry around with me. I don't know if I want to spend the money on it, though. I haven't looked at these pictures in at least 5 or 10 years. 5 minimum. I'm thinking it's closer to 10. Don't get me wrong, I did run across a couple pictures that, oh yeah, I remember that. And yeah, some pictures from way back when. Boy, 40 years of pictures and such. Anyway, this is William from Williams, Philippines. Just doing some thoughts and thinking and espousing my reason and logic, and a few mental thoughts on possible concerns. But you know, all that is stuff that is either in the past or possible in the future. And like I was saying, I don't need to let too much of the past anchor me down, or the future concern me so much I don't get stuff done. I gotta remember to stay in the present. Anyway, you have a good day. Later, blessings. Bye bye. This is Fish, and Fish is out.